everyone. It's Thursday, January 20th, 2022. I am Silent Blue Sister, and this is my turn to talk. And Shannon, I noticed right off the bat, girl, you were number one. She beat you this time, Frankie. You were number two. But it's all good. Welcome to two of my super fans. Oh boy. Like I said, it's all good. Yes, you win the prize. All right, so we're going to get started. All right, so today we're going to talk about no trespassing. Welcome, Slightly Serious. And we're going to talk about stay out of my medicine cabinet. So today's Thursday. Thursdays are supposed to be my fun shows. The talk we had last week about toilet paper over and under, I was surprised that show went as long as it did. But boy, I sure did find out a lot of people and their toilet paper. It was a fun show. So hopefully this one will be fun also. So do you go through someone's medicine cabinet? Do you peek in closets and close doors? Why are people so nosy? So why do people, if you go over someone's house and you ask to use the restroom, for some people they have the guest bathroom. Some people they have you use the family bathroom. Whichever they're able to let you use. But why do people look in other people's medicine chests? Why do they look under the sink? Someone told me that they look under the sink if there's no toilet paper. Okay, I can get that. But some people, it's like when, if you have a party or people are at your house, whatever, some people, instead of, going to the bathroom or when they're coming back, they'll take a little detour and they may open up a little closet here or peek in a room there. Why do you think people do that? So that is my question for today. So I am going to open it up. I'm going to send out some invites. If you want to pop on, no problem. If you don't, I have no problem with you just sitting back and listening to the show. So does anybody want to come up and share whether or not they actually go into someone's medicine cabinet? Shannon, welcome, my friend.
Good afternoon, honey. I don't know how much help I can be with on this one, but because I absolutely don't do anything of the kind. I would actually go as far as holding, get up, put back my pants, zip up my pants, and then go ask them, hey, can you give me some more toilet paper before I would actually open any kind of cabinet? I'm just not like that. I would feel weird.
Well, I don't do that either. And I don't, look in anyone's medicine chest or anything. If I have to, go to the washroom, I go to the washroom, and that's it. I'm not one to snoop because I don't want someone to do it at my house. Exactly. But why do you think people do it? I mean, why do you think that is it human nature that some of us are, we're going to go and we're going to peek or are some people just downright nosy?
Well, they're just curious, and like especially like a new lover or something like that. I've heard of men going to cabinets to make sure like they don't have any like fungus cream or something like that. Any ailments that they don't know about because they're a little paranoid or something like that. But I've heard of that, and then I've heard of people breaking up. You got fungus cream in your bathroom.
But you bring up an interesting point. You bring up an interesting point that if you are, starting to date someone and they, come over, spend the night or whatever, and do you think that some people look in terms of a new person that you're dating or whatever, tend to snoop, men and women, because they're
Mhm.
trying to see if there's someone, if there's any leftovers from the previous person. Like,
That's a possibility, like thumbing through the closet to see if there's any new shirts or leftover pair of shoes or some socks or something. Yeah, I can see that happening for sure. I mean, I've always had a boyfriend, so I mean, I never had to do that, so I don't know. Maybe my next one I'll snoop. So I don't trust anybody anymore, so I'll probably be a bigger snooper.
but do you think that people also snoop as a way to learn things about someone? Like someone can, like if you're if you have your coworker over, or you go over a coworker's
Mhm.
house, and your coworker seems to be one way at work, but then you go over their house, and you tend to snoop medicine cabinets or closets, whatever, and you tend to see a different side of people. So do you think that some people do it for that reason? That they're doing it so they can see how people are, so to speak, if that makes sense.
I don't know. Some people are just serial snoopers. They just
Serial,
they, they're serial
serial
snoopers,
snoopers.
and they
I love that.
they
No,
just can't help themselves. They're like nosy and everywhere. And those people are the type of people I find as a hornet's nest. Like, oh, and even like the best friend of a girlfriend dating a guy. Oh, I'm gonna go find out the dirt on him. I'm gonna go snoop. Oh, girl, he had some panties in his and on the floor. Something like that. Usually the best
well,
friend who snoops for the other one.
welcome, Misha. You know the topic. We're talking about no trespassing. Stay out of my medicine cabinet, not just your medicine cabinet, but my closets. My bedroom. Um, and basically, do you want to offer, why people snoop? I had a party one time, and someone, not only did they go into my bedroom, which was upstairs, and they used my bathroom, but they literally left a note for me saying, I know how you are. You don't like people in your ha ha ha. They thought it was funny, and I got pissed. So, Misha, do you want to offer anything in terms of people snooping? Are you a snoop? Do people come over your house and snoop? What are your thoughts if you want to offer it?
Can you hear me today?
I can hear you, Misha, loud and clear.
Yay. Um, actually, we, this is going to sound crazy. I have 5 dogs, so we don't get very many people to come over, and snooping would not be a wise idea with all my dogs. So, but me, myself, if I should go to someone's home, no, of course not. I would never do that. I'm just not a snoop, you
But
know?
but do you
Go
know
ahead.
people who are?
I do. I do know people who are. As a matter of fact, my husband's wonderful little sister is. I love her so much, but yeah, she hasn't been to my house in a while. But I hear she's still at it over at others. Like I'm
So
sorry.
would you call her a serial snoop the
I
way
would
Shannon?
call absolutely. I would call her a serial snooper. And then she loves to tell you what she's found. I was at my neighbor's house yesterday, and you'll never believe what she has now in her medicine cabinet, or you'll never believe, she's taking this and that, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
So have you ever asked why?
Why she snoops? I sure have. Her name is
Have
Maria. I won't give the last name, but I was like,
okay.
Maria, what do you find? What do you feel like you just have to do this? Is it like a shoplifting type thing where you just feel like you've got to do it? And she said she just enjoys looking and seeing what people have in their cabinets. She don't won't stop at a medicine chest. She'll go under the cupboard. She'll look in their kitchen pantry. She'll, and
But Misha, listen to what you just said. That she said she enjoys.
she does.
Wow.
Which, yeah, to me, I don't understand it because to me, I was not brought up that way. I was brought up, you respect people, you respect their privacy, you respect their property, and you just don't do that. My mother would be aghast if she were alive today, and she thought I had done that. She just didn't bring me up that way, and I leave people's belongings to themselves.
Well, not only that, if you snoop and if you're caught, whether you're caught, by someone else, or you're caught by the homeowner, that could, lead to some serious trouble. I mean, you can get into a physical fight. I mean, you just don't snoop through other people's things.
Exactly. That's how I feel too. Same thing.
So, would she mind if someone did that to her?
Oh no, she expects it. She says, how did you look in did you look and see what I did in the bathroom? Oh no, 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 they're new cupboards. Check it out. And she'll open everything and show them. And so she's very open like that. But um, I, to me, if someone came to my house and did that, I would not be happy. Unless, I mean, if I want to show you everything in my closets and in my drawers and in my cupboards, I'll invite you. I'll tell you, come on, look, come on, Snoop. Do what you want. But and I don't know if she's lost friends for doing this. I do know that her and her neighbor are very close, and she's done this to her neighbor numerous times. So
That is that is interesting.
it's
Um,
bizarre to me.
well, yeah, it is. It is. Shannon, you want to respond to what Misha said?
Yeah, I think your friend, she needs to go to serial snooper jail. Yeah. And I've actually caught people going through mine, and then you walk in, it's like, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for toilet paper. And then the eyebrow goes up like, I really don't think a roll of toilet paper is going to fit in there. Okay. Oh, here. Okay.
Sorry, I know I'm
And then
supposed to
there's
mute
toilet
my
paper like
mic.
right there and stuff. And people are, I'm sure people like looking for drugs, like, oh, maybe I could take like one or two of their pills and they just won't notice or something like that. But I'm never on any medication, so I'm
Well,
my medicine cabinet is very barren. So
well, let me ask this because in my house, we have the guest bathroom, and for the most part, the only thing I keep in there, because mostly the only people who use it are if we have guests and what have you. It's like toilet paper. I might have some Dixie cups in there or something, but for the most part, it's towels, toilet
I know
paper,
you have Kleenex.
and Kleenex. Yes, I have Kleenex. I have Kleenex. But you brought up a good point, Shannon. Do you think that people do look through mainly your medicine chest or medicine drawer, whatever? Because if they are looking for drugs, or if they see, what type of medications you have, number one, they may take it for themselves, or number two, they may, go through it and see, what you're taking, and then they go out and they broadcast it to everyone else.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking about to say. If they're serial snoopers, then they're probably serial gossipers. And that just kind of seems like they would that kind of behavior would go hand in hand with that. Kind of they're being sneaky in the first place. They know they're not supposed to be rummaging through there. And so that just seems like to me like, oh girl, you know what I found in her medicine cabinet? She's on Thorazine. That means she's crazy. Or something like, or he's crazy, or and you know how the rumor mill goes. I've never been on medication. I can't stand medication. But and then all of a sudden when you tell something to somebody and then they tell it to somebody else, and then so on and so on and so on, then it gets to a completely different, next thing is, oh, she was locked up for 20 years.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you think is worse? Do you think it's worse for someone, or put it like this? Which would offend you more? I'll put it like that. What would offend you more? Uh, Someone going through your medicine chest, or someone going through your closet?
Oh, probably in my closet, because I know there's nothing in my medicine cabinet. Um, I wouldn't want them to steal my clothes or my shoes. That would bother me. Yes.
Okay, well, let's
I
say
don't like
let's say
anybody
that
wearing my
they're
clothes.
not going through it to take anything. They're just literally again being
Yeah.
nosy. So
But
you
I
would
don't, because I have real nice clothes, and I don't want people trying them on, and I don't like that. I don't lend out my clothes because I'm kind of I'm not like Howard Hughes germaphobe, but
I am.
I
I am.
well, I'm
I'll
getting
admit it.
there as I get older. I know I'm a glove wearing woman, so but I don't. That's kind of too personal for me. My clothes, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, let me give a formal shout out to Bahram and Crucible Man. Thank you for joining. Misha, which one would offend you more, your medicine cabinet or a closet?
Okay, I'm here. Probably, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm looking at my medicine chest right here now. It's got like Alka-Seltzer and my
Yeah.
face moisturizer, stuff like that. So that probably wouldn't bother me as much as the closet. I think the closet definitely, because like Shannon said, I have a lot of nice clothes in there and shoes, and not that they're going to pocket them, but um, I mean,
Never know. Yes, they do.
Okay, well, let me make it a little less personal. Let's say your medicine cabinet and your hall closet, the closet that's in your hallway where you know hang up your coats, whatever. Which one would offend you more, your medicine cabinet or someone looking in your hall closet? Well, we
um,
called it a hall closet, so that's what I'm calling it.
for me, if you're asking me, um, I don't know. Both. Just because all they got to do is ask. Can I look in your closet? And sure, if you want, I'll be right there to supervise. But yeah, if you want to look through it,
But like, at the same time, it's like, why would someone ask? But people have done that to me. People have asked to see my house. People have asked, if they can look, in here and there. And I've always said no because I've always thought that was just such. Why would you want to look through
Yeah.
my things?
I
Why would you
agree.
want to take,
Yeah.
tour through my house? My house is not a tour. No,
Right.
you cannot look through my
And
house or
even
go through my
even
house.
if you were doing a tour, it's like you wouldn't open up all your cupboards and show them. It's not
Correct.
like, oh,
Correct.
look what I bought yesterday. And so it's just really weird.
Say, hey, you want to look? It's $10.99 for a ticket. You
There
got to
you go. There you go.
pay. A tour is
So,
not free.
So, do you think now? I'm gonna take this conversation a little in a little different direction. Do you think people who snoop or the serial snoopers, some of them may be people who may do things and Misha, I'm not saying that your sister-in-law does it, whatever, but do you think that someone who consistently snoops, well, first, do you think that that started at an early age, or do you think that that is just something that started when they got older?
I don't know. I imagine it would have had to start a while ago for her to be so comfortable with it, because she's totally comfortable with it, and I just don't understand it
So,
myself.
but okay, but that's your husband's sister, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, so does your husband snoop?
no,
Okay, so
no.
apparently they grew up in the same house, I'm assuming.
You're right.
Okay, so one snoops, the other doesn't. So do you think this is something that started with her when she got older?
It definitely, when you're looking at it that way, yes, because there's another sister also who does not snoop at all, as far as I know. She's just, she's pretty private. But Maria is just, she's like an open book, and I think she just assumes everybody else is. So, and she's not young. I mean, she's got two grown kids, but I just don't understand because I did not come from that. My mother did not raise me that way.
Okay,
It's private. It's private people's private stuff. Why would you even want to look anyway?
okay, Shannon.
Um, well, how I feel about that, I probably, because that's a huge betrayal to me. I mean, it seems like such a small little issue, but it really isn't. Because if they're going to go and be sneaky like that, if they're that type of person, who's to say that they're not a serial thief either, too? Hey, what can I find? Is something of value, or where there's
Well,
drugs, money, jewelry? To me, it's a complete betrayal.
well, that was what I was leading to. So, do you think people who snoop or people who are, extra nosy, um, they commit crimes, that they steal, that while they're so busy, looking through your closet or through your chest or whatever, your medicine cabinet, that they will start to pick things up. And then, the next thing things are gone. And then it goes from them snooping at someone's house to possibly shoplifting. I mean, do you think that's possible, or do you think that's too big of a stretch?
No, not at all. I mean, because if they know they're doing something wrong, because, if you ever notice, when I caught somebody, I mean, you could tell, like, they knew the way they were crouched down and kind of like looking in the back, to see if someone was watching them. And then it's like opening up the cabinet really, really slow. I mean, they know they're doing something wrong. So you can't trust them then. Until
Okay.
you get comfortable enough of friends with somebody to where you're like sisters, and they know that they have permission to go in there. So absolutely no, it's a betrayal to me. If they'll betray you with that little thing, and I mean, if I want you to go in there, I'll say, hey, yeah, go in there, and da da da, and that's just it's just weird.
Okay, now Crucible Man said something that I think it is sexist. He said, not to get all sexist, but snooping is a female thing. I don't relate.
That's not
and
true.
and I think, Crucible Man, I'm sorry, dude, but I think you are totally wrong. And I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind coming up to explain that, because now I have another question for you. So, Crucible Man, you have the mic.
Hello. Yeah, I don't. I didn't say it was a female thing. I was asking, is it a female thing? Because in my 1,000 years on the planet, don't believe I've ever had a conversation with another man about somebody's medicine cabinet or somebody's closet ever. So that's the only reason I say that. And I don't even own a medicine cabinet, for God's sake. So I don't even know what I would put in it.
You don't have a medicine cabinet in your bathroom?
I do not. I don't.
So you don't have a cabinet where you can keep bottles or things in your bathroom?
I do not. I do not.
Wow.
The house was built that way. I have drawers in a bureau that's in the bathroom that I'll keep some Advil or toothpaste and stuff like that. But I'm a low maintenance guy. I don't own any of that stuff. And as far as my closet goes, if somebody's like to go in there and find me something nice to wear, I'm all over it. So I don't have anything, I guess, that I would be so protective of or so privacy oriented that if you want to look in, let's just say hypothetically, I do have a medicine cabinet. Go ahead. If that's what flips your switch. I feel sorry for you if that's what flips your switch, because we all have the same things, relatively speaking. I mean, are you looking for birth control pills? Are you looking for Preparation H? I mean, what are the things that are piquing your curiosity about this individual that you're either looking for something specific or you're just flat out nosy? And even if you do find something in there, how does that move the needle for anybody? Does it make you happy? Does it make you anxious? Does it make you pissed? I mean, I don't understand what the end goal is when anybody goes snooping.
Okay, and Crucible Man, I do stand corrected. I did not read it correctly, but is snooping a female thing? That is what he asked, so I do stand corrected. So let me ask you, what is the difference between snooping and being nosy? Crucible Man, you want to start off, and then I'll go around the room?
Well, I think Snoopy. That's not. We're not talking about peanuts, are we? I think snooping is a subset of nosy. I think nosy is a general behavior. that could go anywhere from being overly inquisitive, asking personal questions that you don't have any business asking. And it's not a very it's probably a very short trip from that kind of nosiness to snooping. I think if that's part of your personality, it's probably going to show up in multiple places. Now, as far as your shoplifting question, that might be a bridge too far for me. I mean, I don't know what you could correlate there as far as if someone is going to now if someone's going in a medicine cabinet and stealing something, well, now that's not such a far trip at all. But if they're just looking around to be nosy and just to kind of get an idea of what your personal life might be like, I don't know how that could lead to shoplifting per se.
Okay. Shannon?
I think the difference of being nosy is going, like you said, upstairs and just even looking into the bedroom and going from room to room. That's being a little nosy. But snooping is like a criminal discovery process. That's what I think. You're looking to snooping is kind of almost like a detective almost, and that's why they call him the Snoop. And but it's on the betrayal. Well, I say it's criminal, but it's a serial snooper, man. And it's
So do you think that it can go to, for some people, shoplifting? Because
absolutely wait, like in stores and stuff.
yeah. I mean, because if okay,
Probably because they obviously they're getting some euphoric feeling, a high off doing it. Like, aha, I'm looking at what they got, and they don't know. It's more of the thrill of it, probably. I mean, look at I'll give you an example. Winona Ryder. Remember, I don't know if you remember when she got arrested for shoplifting. I mean, she definitely didn't do it. It's not like she didn't have the money to pay for it. She did it for the thrill of it. Anita Marcos does the same thing. She went and stole all those Chanel buttons off, the Chanel suits and stuff. It's not, she could buy. People
I mean,
just
and that's
like that.
and that's the connection, that I'm making. That if you go into someone's house and you're snooping to the point where you end up taking something, because you're doing that at someone's house, is it possible for it to lead to your going into a store or to a bodega or wherever, a 7-Eleven, whatever, and you steal that candy bar or you steal that scarf. I mean, is that possible because you're comfortable doing it at someone's house, that you may feel that you have enough nerve to actually go out and, go out into the world to do it?
Well, I'm gonna give you full disclosure. I what makes you a smart person is you learn from your mistakes, and it just depends upon what kind of person you are. One of my first jobs was I was 16 and I worked at a shoe store at Baker's. I don't know if you remember that shoe store or not. And I found this most
I remember.
beautiful pair of red loafers, and I loved them and I had to have them. And I didn't have the money to buy them. So I took them. And as soon as I got home, I felt so damn guilty. I didn't even open the box. And the next day, I returned them, so it's like it never happened, and I never did anything like that again because the guilt was so overwhelming. I mean, I didn't even try them on, and it's like I can't believe I just did something like that, and but I did.
But you didn't do it because you were snooping in someone's in
No,
someone's
I did it
house.
because I wanted them, and I
Okay.
didn't have the
Okay.
money to pay for them, and I was stupid and I was young, but I did return them, and I didn't even open the box. So, and that was my one time of trying to do something like that. But as far as snooping, it depends upon the person and the situation. Like I said, if it's like a boyfriend or new lover, or even a long term boyfriend who's just got like Jake LaMotta syndrome or something, is just trying to look for something. People sometimes look for something because they're trying to self destruct the relationship. in a way. Aha! I found this, and la 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 la.
No, I mean, no, and that's a good point. Misha, what do you think? What do you think there's a difference between being nosy and just snooping?
Yeah, I do. I think if you're just nosy, you're just, you know, like a Gladys Kravitz, like you said. My sister-in-law is a Gladys Kravitz. But she has no intention of stealing anything. She has, I'm having a hard time making the connection between shoplifting, saying someone who's nosy and likes to look in other people's cupboards would make that jump to shoplifting.
Okay.
Um, I'm having a hard time with that one, but I do remember that when I was 15 years old, I actually I stole an 89-cent ring that I just fell in love with. 89 cents over at like Thrifties or something when they used to have rings. And I remember walking out of the door, and then the security got me and brought me back in, and they brought me to the room where they talked to the perps, and and said, okay, either you give us give us your number so I can call your parents, or you're going to go to jail. And at the time, my mom was working, and it was my dad that was home. My dad, oh my gosh, he was so strict and wasn't always the greatest dad. He could get violent sometimes. So I just told him, put me in jail. Please, God, put me in jail, because I don't want you to tell my dad. But they ended up calling my dad anyway, and he came and picked me up, and he was actually better than I thought he would be about it. They made me go back in and apologize again, and say I would never do it again, and I never did. I was just, that was my one brush with the law.
So my next question is there a difference between snooping and eavesdropping? Are they the same thing? And Misha, since you're on mic right now, I will start with you.
No, I think that's different. Eavesdropping, I think when you're doing that, you're purposely like trying to get dirt on somebody or to hear something that they don't want you privy to.
But
So
isn't snooping you're looking for things that you're not supposed to be privy to, that you're
yeah,
you know
yeah, but I don't know. I don't know why it's worse for me for someone to eavesdrop than it is to look through my medicine chest. But it is. To me, it is. I just feel like, it's like, and like Shannon was saying, and then you playing telephone game, and it's like, oh, I heard her say this about so and so, and then by the time it gets to so and so, that woman's, on the brink of divorce and beats her children, and you know what I mean. It just gets lost and tangled, and so to me, I don't know. That's worse than looking through, a cupboard or something.
Okay. Crucible Man, do you think eavesdropping and snooping are the same thing?
Yes, I do. If they're not, they're very close cousins, because I think it's a personality issue, and I'm not gonna say it's a personality flaw, although it is a little bit sneaky or shady. I think, when you're nosy about probably everything. It's a part of your personality, and that would include going through medicine cabinets, going through closets, eavesdropping on conversations, asking too many personal questions that you shouldn't be asking. So I think it runs the gamut. If you're nosy, you're probably nosy in a bunch of areas. If you're not, you're probably not nosy in any area. But yeah, eavesdropping is that you're listening in on a conversation that you're not supposed to be a part of.
And see, and I feel the same way. I think that if eavesdropping and being a snoop is the same thing, because you're doing something that you're not supposed to do. If you snoop, you're being privy to something that you're not supposed to be privy to. So I think that they are the same thing. So I don't know. So all right. So Shannon, do you think that eavesdropping and being a snoop is the same thing?
No. No, it can be, but
This is good till 69.98. It's good.
it can be. Um, but it depends on the situation. Normally, I would never just eavesdrop on somebody like I didn't know. But if there's like like a situation going on, like, say, I'll give you an example. Say like Scott and his parents, and something was like, oh yeah, okay, well, what's going on over there? Huh? You know, I have to say that I actually have eavesdropped. Because of the situation between me and the old stepmother there. But as far as like, oh, is he talking to a girl? No, none of that. No. But I mean, just to be honest, I'm not gonna lie on this show. I have eavesdropped though, but just with him, just a couple of times.
I will be honest. I have too, and I think if everyone is honest in terms of eavesdropping, I think that we have, whether we've done it in our adult years or when we were children or in high school, listening to the teacher or listening to some other kids or whatever.
Right.
I think that we all have. Now, my next question is about labels. Would you want to be labeled as a snoop, or as someone being nosy, or an eavesdropper? Which one, if you had to be labeled one of those, snoop, an eavesdropper, or being nosy, which one would you prefer? And Shannon, I'll start with you.
Definitely eavesdropper, because I'm definitely not nosy, and I'm really not an eavesdropper either. But it was only the situation. And because otherwise, whoever he talks to or anybody else, I could care less whatsoever. So I'm not a serial eavesdropper either, but I have been guilty of it.
Okay, so if you now also everyone, when you give me your answers, I want you to think about this too, because if you prefer to be labeled an eavesdropper, do you think that's a negative connotation, meaning that we're like, oh, Shannon's an eavesdropper, so you better watch whatever you say around her and make sure she's not listening around the corner? I mean,
yeah,
so I mean, this is what I'm saying. So would you, again, so do you want to change that answer, or do you want to keep that answer?
Because nosy could be the same thing too. Nosy can go with being a snooper, and then nosy could go with being an eavesdropper. But if you making me choose, I would be the eavesdropper, because I mean, I know I don't do it. I wouldn't do it to my best friend or anybody else, but it was only because of the situation. That's it. Otherwise, I don't, like I said, I don't care who he talks to. But like if he answers the phone, or he says something like, I'm going to call my dad, or, and I know in advance who he's calling, then I have been guilty of that in the past. Yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to read something that Crazy Lady said. She says, I am pretty nosy. I ask a lot of questions. Now, asking a lot of questions, is that being nosy? But before I go to that, I want to go to Misha and ask her, which one would you prefer to be labeled, an eavesdropper, nosy, or a snoop?
I think I'd probably be labeled as nosy. I think I'd rather be nosy than if I had to pick one. Yeah, because like,
oh, you just muted yourself. Misha, are you there? Okay, I think we lost Misha.
You hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear Misha, and I can't unmute her. So something's going on her end. Okay, Misha, if you can hear me, okay, there you are. Okay, you are back.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I just got a call from the Police Assistance League wanting me to donate. I'm like, of all the times to call.
I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that when people get phone calls, it always goes out. Okay, so I'm sorry. Now you said you want to be nosy because of why?
If I had to pick which I don't like any of them, but if I had to pick one, I'd say nosy. I agree with Crazy Lady. I would, because I do ask a lot of questions, and or sometimes I'll, walk up on my sister and look over her shoulder and say, "What you doing?" Something like that. So I guess that's nosy. If you want to, you could look at it like that. Yeah, so I'd pick nosy.
Okay. Crucible Man?
Yeah, of the lesser of all those evils, I would go with eavesdropping. It seems to be a more passive or more
Lesser evil.
benign, type of nosiness. You're just, now if you're, back in the day, and I'm dating myself here, back when we all had landlines and you had multiple extensions, somebody might be on the phone, my brother or my sister might be on the phone with her boyfriend or something. And, I pick up the phone and listen and, tease her about stuff later on, that kind of thing. But, eavesdropping, I think, is a fairly innocuous thing unless you're taking information that wasn't intended for you and, trying to ruin somebody's reputation or, stir the pot, things like that. I don't think it's a particularly harmful thing to do, but what some people may consider to be nosy, other people may just consider to be, inquisitive. They generally are curious about what's going on in your life, and that may be a sanitized way that they look at it. So there's a kind of a blurry line between nosiness and inquisitiveness. And I guess where I would draw that line is the nature of what you're asking about. If you're asking about, how's your job? You moved into a new house. How's you like the neighborhood? Things of that nature. But, are you and your husband still planning to get divorced? Are you still planning to have that third child, or didn't, that kind of stuff, I think, is when you get into some kind of like, where do you get off asking me those things? So it's a fine line.
And I personally would want to be considered nosy because to me being nosy does not necessarily have the negative baggage that would follow you around, as opposed to eavesdropping, which I think would have the worst, and snoop would be the second worst. So Bahram, welcome. What would you like to say?
Yeah, it was just echoing what Crucible Man said. I think eavesdropping would be the lesser of the three terms, in my opinion, because I think nosiness and snooping is you're actively seeking out information and being generally nosy and snoopy. Whereas eavesdropping, in my mind, is you're just there in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the right time to use your eavesdropping skills. It's just a circumstantial thing. So that's why I would probably go with the eavesdropping.
But Bob Ram, what about what Crazy Lady said, that she says nosy because she asks a lot of questions? So what if you're just someone who just questions everything?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't call that. I mean, I would probably consider myself what you just described as, but I wouldn't say that's nosiness. I'm inquisitive, and I do research and I look into things for my podcast. I'm into conspiracy, so I'll research things like JFK, 9/11. That I wouldn't say that's nosiness. I would say that's doing your due diligence and doing your research. Nosiness, I would say, would be like looking into someone else's business and life and gossipy and all that stuff that comes with it.
So do you think that and I know everyone's going to say no, and because you just said looking into someone's life. So if I brought my boyfriend home, or your girlfriend home or whatever, and your parents are, they just don't ask, oh, so how old are you and what do you do, whatever, but they really get into what do your parents do, and they just drill. Do you think that's being nosy, or do you think that they're just oh, I just want to know?
Well, I mean, if their son or daughter that's in the relationship is less than the legal age or whatever, then I'm sure they have a responsibility to do that. It's only being caring, and obviously your son or daughter is under your care. So I wouldn't say I would say probably once they became of age and maybe got married and that, and they were still doing it, then it's a problem. Then it becomes nosiness. But that, I don't know. I think that's also where I come on when I was listening to the show earlier, and you were talking about like medicine cabinets. I was trying to think of any examples of where that would be okay to snoop, and possibly if there's an elderly person in your family who is maybe forgetful or maybe has the onset of maybe dementia or some illness that they maybe forgot to take their tablets, it would be okay to snoop to make sure that they were and keeping on top of their medicine cabinet. But other than that, I'm against all that stuff, what you were saying.
Okay, all right. So I have another question for you guys because once again, Crazy Lady, she put something in the chat. She doesn't gossip. Misha says she doesn't gossip either. So I'm going to ask you, what's the difference between being a tattletale and being someone that gossips? And I'm going to start with Shannon.
Well, I guess it matters who you're tattletelling and gossiping to. A tattletale would be that would imply maybe you're getting someone else in trouble or trying to make them look bad in other people's eyes. And gossiping is just kind of chit chat, trying to maybe make yourself look better. That's what a lot of people do. They put someone else down by gossiping about somebody else's actions or behavior. And just someone who just can't keep their mouth shut because that's just who they are, inquiring minds want to know. So but a tattletale, I think, is someone who snitches and tells the wrong person the wrong thing to purposely get that person in some kind of trouble.
But don't you think that a gossip can get someone in trouble?
Sure. Well, usually gossip is among friends.
Not always, because people, gossip takes, gossip. People gossip when they're on Twitter. They gossip when they're on Facebook. They
true.
gossip. So
yeah, I guess so. But tattletelling, usually implies telling something. Usually, the person you're tattletelling about actually kind of did something wrong. Because, when you say you don't be, you're a tattletale. Oh, my brother, he did this. He broke the window with the baseball. And gossiping is just like, oh, girl, she's going out with 2 or 3 men at the same time. Oh, she's oh, and something like that. But I think tattletelling has more of a negative impact more than gossiping can be very harmful too. But it seems like gossiping is not as hateful, but tattletelling seems like you're purposely trying to get somebody in trouble of some kind.
Okay. Misha, difference between gossip and tattletale and telling to you. Excuse me, I can't say a tongue twister.
I agree with Shannon. I think a tattletale. Well, I don't know. I might be a tattletale then, because, for example, my niece had told me something that she really needed to tell her mother, because for her own safety, for her own health, and she did not want to do it. She refused to. So I told her. So that makes me a tattletale, but it was only in order to help my niece who needed help with something that she refused to agree she needed help with. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, in that respect, I guess I'm a tattletale, but yeah. But I would have, it's not always a negative thing to tattletale either. I think, we're supposed to outgrow this when we're children, outgrow this tattletale stuff. But considering I still do it, if I find something only for someone's safety, or like I said, to get them help, that's different, I think.
Okay. Crucible Man, tattletale and gossips.
I think they're both forms of betrayal to different degrees. I agree with Shannon and Misha. When you tattletale, you're looking for a specific outcome. You know someone's done something wrong, and you want to get them in trouble for it. Whether it's one of your siblings, when you're kids, or whether it's a coworker, whatever it happens to be, there's a vengeful element that comes with tattletaling. I don't care how old you are, there's a vengeful element to it. You could say the same thing about gossip. We all gossip to some extent. Maybe I shouldn't say all of us, but a great deal of us do gossip to some extent. Some of it is innocent, some of it's a little bit more malicious. But when you hear someone gossiping, I shouldn't say we all, I'm generalizing, we tend to think of it in negative terms. So when somebody is talking about another person, a lot of the time, they're not always saying nice things. Like, did you hear that she got promoted at her job the other day? And did you hear that she's been voted Mother of the Year over at her PTA school? I mean, you're not generally hearing those kinds of things. You're like Shannon said, did you know she's going out with 2 or 3 men, or did you know she's about to get fired, or he's cheating on his wife? Those are the kinds of things that fall into the gossip category. We rarely hear positive things about other people. We do, but not typically. So in both cases, you're trying to affect some kind of a negative outcome for somebody.
Aram, tattletelling and being a gossip.
I was kind of struggling with this one, but as the more I listen to Misha, Shannon, and Crucible Man, I think the only way I can put this into a better way is that I think tattletaling is being directly, you're purposely setting out to. We use the word clipe here. I don't know if that's a word you're familiar with, or grass. You're telling on someone. You're purposely trying to get that person into trouble. Whereas gossip can be less direct. It could be
I'm sorry.
longer.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. What was the term that you use?
Over here we say clipe, CLIPE. It's like grassing, telling tales, cliping on someone. Okay. Maybe it's a Scottish term, I don't know, but we say clipe here. So you're purposely going up and telling tales to maybe a boss or a friend, trying to get someone else into trouble. That, for me, that's tattletaling, and that's being direct, and you know what you're doing. Whereas gossip, in my view, is maybe the person does know what they're doing, but they're maybe doing it in a longer, strung out way that is could be possibly more evil, because they know what they're doing. They're just planting seeds into people's minds and trying to get them into trouble, but in a less direct way. So they are very similar, but I would say tattletaling is the more blatantly obvious evil of the two, whereas the gossip, it can be less and more subtle.
Okay. All right. Well, Bahram, don't go, because I'm going to end my last question starting with you. Crucible Man said when he first came on, is going through cabinets or whatever, snooping, whatever, is that a female thing or whatever? So I would like to ask, in terms of gossip, eavesdropping, snooping, whatever you want to call it, going through medicine cabinets, closets, doors, whatever, who do you think is more guilty? Do you think men are more guilty, or do you think women?
That's very again, I did see what Crucible Man said, and I was, I'm inclined to agree. Maybe it's just because of my family and what you see. I think it's more a female trait to be caring, and that's not to beat on women, but I think it's a caring trait, and women obviously have more of that empathy, caring, whatever that thing is, and they're more likely to look through medicine cabinets, whereas men are, well, even like Crucible Man said, he doesn't even own a medicine cabinet, and I know if I didn't live with my wife, I certainly wouldn't have one. So it's maybe more circumstantial. and it's not that we're hating on women, but I do think it's a more women trait to be gossiping and snooping and with the medicine stuff for sure. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the
Don't
spot.
hate me.
I'm gonna put you on the spot one more time. So,
Yeah.
don't you think that's being a little bit of stereotyping, saying that women?
I know, but I think there is times where you can certainly do that. Like there's probably examples of who's more likely to be in a pub or a bar drinking beer. Well, that's men. Like I think it's okay to do that when they're more obvious. And this one, yes, it's maybe not as obvious, but in my experience, I have to say women. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, to me, putting me on the spot, I would say it's women in this example.
Okay, all right, Shannon, women or men?
To tell you the truth, I've found more men in my life through my own experience. As far as actually catching somebody, I've caught more men snooping through my shit than women.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
all right, Misha, you there, Misha?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay,
I
so
just got
which one?
I got
Who do you think is worse, women or men, when it comes to snooping, eavesdropping, gossip, whatever?
I think as far as I don't know if it's gossip, but I think women are more naturally inclined to try to help people than men. I don't know, that might be really sexist to say, but I really feel like they can deal with feelings easier, and they tend to reach out. Maybe that's gossiping. I don't know. Maybe I'm not even answering your question. I just got thrown off by a phone call. Sorry. But I think as far as the eavesdropping and stuff, I think it's the same. I don't think there's any special one or the other. I think, men are just as likely to do it as women.
Okay, Crucible Man.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because I typed in the chat when Bahram made that comment about, stereotyping. You are much more likely to see, to find men in a pub drinking. Not that women don't do that, but generally speaking, you're going to see them. You're going to see a lot of men in a pub. But I wonder if the nature of women's lives, in other words, men for the most part, I know there's exceptions. Ryan Seacrest, maybe, and some other guys like that, are pretty low maintenance. We got some deodorant, we got some toothpaste, we got some soap. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot of moving parts on the man's hygiene regime. But with women, they just the nature, and this is not a criticism. I'm not criticizing at all. Please don't nobody take it that way. Their whole body situation is just different. They've got lotions, and they take different. Maybe they take different pills. They got birth control. They just their lives lend themselves to buying those types of suppositories and things of that nature. And I'm just wondering, does that, knowing that other women are purchasing the same things that you are, probably, does that increase your snoopiness or nosiness level, because you want to see, okay, does she have the same things that I do, or is she treating her condition here that she told me about this with the same products that I am? I don't know. That's probably a stretch, but I wonder if the nature of females, maybe, and Shannon did, say that more men were snooping in her stuff than women. I just wonder, women share an awful lot of things in that area, and I wonder if that doesn't, men, you're going to open up the medicine cabinet for another guy, and you're going to see the same crap you got at home. Who cares? But with women, there's a different element to seeing what another woman might be using in her personal life.
Okay, I think that is a stretch, and my face was kind of contorted a little bit while you were saying some of those things. So I don't know if I can agree with you there. So Sava, welcome. What do you want to add to this conversation?
Hi. Crucible Man, I just want to say I love you. You that was the cutest mansplain I've ever heard. But
So what do you think, Saba?
yeah, oh man, I have fun with it because I understand people on a certain level. I just know they're gonna do things like certain friends. Oh man, I've done so many different things. Like, so I've originally got the idea. I think I was watching like America's Funniest Home Videos or something like that. Somebody put marbles in their medicine cabinet and then set up a camera, which was a little bit risky because it's the bathroom. But yeah, I guess their friend was over at their house and they like slightly opened the cabinet and all these marbles fell out. I just thought that was
That
hilarious.
is
So,
classic because
like,
everyone in the house knows
yeah,
exactly what you just did.
I think that's
yeah,
fantastic.
exactly.
I'm gonna do that. I'm telling you,
I've
I
done so
love
many
that
things.
idea. Like put a bloody knife, but it's
Yeah,
not really blood on it, and like K-roll syrup and like red dye or
Okay,
some
yeah.
well, wait,
glue or something.
wait,
I wrote
Shannon,
a
hold on.
note in red lipstick once.
Let Saba finish. So okay, so Saba, I saw that
Sorry,
you
you guys were just
set
all in the
traps.
Matrix too.
So you said
Yeah,
that you set traps. So what type of traps? I mean, Saba,
psychological traps. Can you hear
such
me?
as yes, such
Okay.
as
So like I've written like letters in like red lipstick saying "help me." Like one time I put a note that said "get the fuck out of here," and my girl at the time she came out of the bathroom with tears in her eyes. And
well, I
like I've
mean,
had
if
like,
that's something to stop people from being nosy.
well, you know what? It's like it's neither here nor there with me because I just know they're going to be. I don't know. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But like I know I am. But see, like because like I'm keen to all like those things. Like I'm respectful, but I'm still a Scorpio and I'm still nosy. And if I'm at someone's house,
So why would you, if you're just going to use the bathroom, someone's guest bathroom, why is it necessary to look in their medicine cabinet or up under the cabinet? Why is it necessary for you to do that?
to know them better.
I mean, but okay, so you find out that they use Charmin toilet paper and they use red lipstick by
Yeah.
Chanel or
What
whatever.
kind of
Okay,
perfume they wear, how
okay,
clean
all
they
right,
are.
okay, all right.
I'm pretty big on
So
hygiene. And usually I'm not at someone's house unless I'm getting close to them.
okay, all right. Well, I'm going to go around the room and let everyone give their last 5, 10 cents. Shannon, I'll start with you.
I just had to add to what Saba said. I'm envisioning the marble thing, and it's like either way they're busted and they all fall out. So either they pick them all up, and then you could just see them like looking back, like I know what you did. I think that's fantastic, and I'm so gonna use those tactics. I love you. Great.
So, do you have any other thing you want to add?
No, snoop if you want to be snooped upon, eavesdrop if you want to be eavesdropped upon, just treat others like you'd have them treat you. So, and you can't get mad if someone does it to you when you do it to them.
Okay. Crucible?
Yeah, just real quick on the Saba thing. That would make a great Southwest Airlines commercial, when the marbles come out, you want to get away. That'd be perfect. But yeah, I think when we're nosy and we're snooping and whatnot, whether it's medicine cabinets or closets, I think Saba said she's trying to get to know somebody better. That's certainly one angle of it, but I think we're looking for information that we can phone ring, judge them in some way, not necessarily harshly, but form an opinion, favorable or unfavorable. And I think it's part of our natural bent as human beings, as long as it's not, carried out maliciously.
Okay. All right. Baran, any last words?
Yeah, when I first started listening to the show and I was hearing you guys talk, I was wondering if you had chose this headline of your show tonight to, talk about, when you were talking about the medicine cabinet and people being very private about what's in there and all that. It reminded me on what's happening in today's world with health and the COVID stuff, and basically asking to see our health status and with the mask and everything. But it didn't go down that route, and I'm quite thankful it didn't. But to me, it kind of typifies it when we are protective over what's in your health, in your medicine cabinet, and then we're asking people to divulge their health records to random strangers. It puts it all into perspective for me, and it was nice to hear you guys talking so like protective, and quite rightly so. But the bigger picture is what we're seeing is pretty similar. So that's all I wanted to say to finish off with that. But it's been another great show, and thanks for having me.
Always, always. This show again, my Thursday shows are supposed to be fun shows, and I chose this topic simply because I know people are nosy when they go over people's homes and they look in people's medicine cabinets. I mean, so 'cause it has happened to me. And in terms of the vaccines and politics and stuff, people get tired of talking about that all the time. So I try to have shows that are different, and and again, I want my Thursday shows where people can just have fun. So this show was strictly chosen because some people are nosy, they look indoors, they gossip, they eavesdrop, whatever, and just why do they do it? So Saba, you have the last word. You want to impart any
Ooh, my
words of
favorite.
wisdom?
I love the last word.
So do I. See, go ahead.
So we, I think the best policy when you have someone over at your house is to facilitate their human nature, you know, and don't take things personally and like negatively. Always give somebody, if you, I mean, you're inviting them over to your house in the first place, right? So you must trust them to some degree. And why not be vulnerable? Why not let them know what's in your cabinet? Why, if you're going to hide something, hide it. You know what I'm saying? And like maybe put a couple things in there that they might need. It's a courtesy thing. And if you're hosting and someone's over at your house, then you gotta be mindful of those things. And some people are investigative and take it as a compliment because they're trying to get to know you. Or you could put like a pill bottle in there that says like Vicodin or something, but just put something different in there, like maybe laxatives, just to teach them a lesson. I don't know.
That's a good one. All right. Well, I see that Bahram and Crucible have this bromance going with each other today, but it's all good. But before I go, one thing I wanted to start doing in 2022 is I wanted to acknowledge birthdays. And some of your birthdays I know, some of them I don't. If you want me to acknowledge your birthday somewhere down the line, please send me an email to solidbluesister@gmail.com, or send me something on Twitter. You can always send me a direct message on Twitter. Don't be jealous. Hey, I'm jealous. No one wants to do a bromance with me.
Hey, Solid. Oh, well, I've been bromancing with you. You just haven't seen it yet, though. But look, so can we do a show on birthdays? I have a lot to get off my chest about.
I would love to do a show on birthdays, and I will put it on my list. And I promise that I will do it. But I do want to give a shout out to Crucible Man. His birthday is January 22nd, which is Saturday. And Crucible Man, if you want to come on and say how old you are going to be, that's up to you. Crucible Man.
I'll be 27 on Saturday.
All right. So, but anyway, happy birthday to Crystal Man. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, okay, Saba really hates birthdays. Okay, Janice, they're telling me birthday I start counting after I hit 30. Okay, so all right, so I will do a show on birthdays, but that's it, everyone. That's all I've got. Today is Thursday, which is my Friday. Welcome, Mama Bear Tracy, and a vocal welcome to Petty Deb. Thank you to everyone for the pod beans, and Frankie, thank you very much for the super chat and the guitar. Thank you, thank you. So again, today is Thursday, which is my Fridays. I will not be back until Monday. And Petty Deb, thank you very much for the pod bean. Other than that, for two pod beans, thank you. Other than that, I hope to see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend, and I will see you next time. Go where the wind takes you. Bye. And Bahram, I listened to one of your shows. It was interesting. I liked it. But I wish you would do live. I wish you would do live. Oh, Saba, you missed me already. I will email you on the birthday show. Maybe if you want, you can do a co-host since it is your idea. So I don't have a problem with that. And Bahram, I hope you do a live show soon. I would really want to join on that one. Code 23, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. And Frankie, let's see, who did I miss? Eunice Bako, welcome, but we are ending the show. See you later, Bahram. Crucible Man, do you have any plans for this weekend? Okay, Crucible Man's not listening to me. Okay. Okay, Shannon and Saba are going back and forth. Who is the boss? Okay, Saba. So if we do this birthday show, you're gonna have to be a co-host. All right. Send you an email and we can get that set up to what is a good day. Is that going to be a fun show? Can that be one of my Thursday shows, or do you want that to be a serious show more on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? You pick. Okay. So Crucible Man, you're back. Do you have any plans for your birthday? Welcome, Michael Key, but we are ending the show. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm going out to my siblings for a couple hours on Saturday to have some pizza and drink beer.
Okay, for your 27th birthday. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry, Michael, that you came in at the end. Usually the show goes a little bit longer, but not today. So, but thank you for coming. Rock out to the music until it ends. So Saba, you want to say anything while we're still on? Well, we're about to go off. You want to say anything else? Thank you. Love you too, girl. Okay, y'all. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.